Hey everyone, it is Saturday the 6th of February and welcome to my weekend reading vlog. I am starting it at the horse. There's a horse in there and one behind me. There you go, there's Alec. Stella is hiding behind these. But I have to read 4 books for the Medievalathon. So this weekend I'm going to try and read as much as I can, and I thought I'd do a mini reading vlog. So here we are, out the horse. Currently cleaning out everything because it's meant to snow today. And then hopefully I'll be going home and getting some reading done. Hey everyone, so it is currently 7 o'clock at night and I have done zero reading because I've decided to organise my bookshelves. So my bed is currently piled up with all of the books that I own. I think it's all of them. I've left some on the bookshelf downstairs because I want to try and get these ones sorted. They are literally falling around me, and I want to get these ones sorted and try and put them on the one bookshelf that I've got up here. We've got a little one downstairs, but I'm a bit worried because I've not counted all of these books, but it's definitely looking like there's a lot more than one bookshelf. But I have so many books, but hopefully I'll be able to read some of the Way of Kings later on. I'm currently on page 214. Yes, 214. I am about a fifth of the way through-ish. I think I worked it out last night because I was bored. Sort of person I am. There's 1,124 pages in this book because I've got the full version in one. I don't know how I managed it. Everyone says that to get the Way of Kings you've got to get it in 2 volumes, but I actually managed to get it in 1, and I double checked that that was the full page count. I found the versions where it was 2 books and I added them together. 1,124 5 times is about 220 something, so I'm really close to 20% through. I'm hoping to read a good chunk of this tonight. I also need to start, I don't know if I'm able to find it. 1 second. So I've just knocked over a pile. I also want to start Master of One, so my Medievalathon is due to end in 4 days, and I have got to read Way of Kings, Master of One, The Hobbit, and I can never remember the name of this. There we go, found it. The only plus to having all my books piled in one place I can find them all. Power of Privilege, How White People Can Challenge Racism. I was supposed to read all 4 of these before the 10th. I'm hoping to get the Way of Kings and Master of One done before the 10th. I should be able to, but I'm going to start both of them and read these. And I reserved about 6 books on my library app the other day, and some of those become available soon. I think one is on I think the first one is the 13th of February, so luckily I give myself a bit of breathing space. But I also went on a NetGalley requesting spree, and I have been accepted for 2 arcs, and one is published in February and the other is published in March, so I need to get those read really quickly and get them on. And I've also got a arc from Book Sirens that needs to be read before the 22nd of February as well. So my plan so far for the next day and a little bit, day and a squidgy bit, is to get a big chunk of Way of Kings done. If I can get through another 200 to 300 pages of that, I'll be happy. I want to get through at least 10% of this. I think this is 500 pages? 530. So 10% of that's just like 53, so maybe more, because 10% is going to be pitiful. But like, I want to read about 100 pages of this book. I want to get through another 200 to 300 pages of Way of Kings, and I want to make a start on the arcs that I've got to review. I don't know if I'll actually finish any book in this sort of reading vlog because it's just a weekend one, but that's currently where I'm at. And yeah, I have no idea where it's going to go. I may do some filming or rearranging my bookshelf. Who knows? But it may just be more filming the books that I've got piled up everywhere and trying to sort that out. But I just wanted to let you know where I'm at with that. And it's not been a very productive reading day, but we'll get some reading done at some point today. Hey everyone, so I thought I'd do a progress update for what I've managed to do with my bookshelves, and I also want to show you the only book that I have ever tabbed in in my entire life. So I have filled them this way to try and get through everything, but some gaps are not big enough, so I've got some books like this, which is really frustrating me. But I am getting there. I've put some things. I've got my 2 comics. I've got my Marvel comic, which is a Castle graphic novel, and then Beneath the Dark Crystal, some of it, and then I've got some non-fiction-y learny books, and also a book of spells right here. But the only book I've ever tabbed in my life, which is Le Guerre des Enfants by Georges Noir, and I used this for my dissertation because I did about how France, the 100 Years' War, turned France into a nation, which is what this note is: changer la guerre, changer le système politique. That's when I went to Salamanca, so clearly I was doing wonderfulness, and also a note on speculoos. But let's go through. So I didn't tab it properly, but these were all like the things that I needed. So feudal conflict. I also underlined something. C'est une véritable guerre européenne par le jeu des alliances. It was a truly European war by the game of alliances. So it wasn't just England versus France or Northern France or whatever, but also like Flanders, which is now Belgium, and things like that. A note in English. That was nice to myself. I did try to do all of these notes in French, just because obviously I was writing a dissertation topic in French. This was pretty much the only book I used for my dissertation. I used a couple of others, but the majority of it was from here. I don't know what I did with the rest of my things. And that was just like an actual tab of a quote. So I did actually have to pull some quotes out, and I just tabbed the pages, wrote down what the topics were, and then put the thing, like here, la France a une armée nationale dans le sens où tous les forces armées dépendant de l'État. So it was like France had a national army in the sense of all of the armed forces were dependent on the state, whereas England used like mercenaries and private armies. So just like another thing that if it wasn't a nation and this hadn't pushed it, then we wouldn't have had a national army. And then this is all about aristocracy. But yeah, that is the only book I've ever tabbed properly, and it was literally because I was writing an essay. So, Le Guerre des Enfants, and I feel like I need to read more French. I've definitely just like missed it. Also, what I've done with my book is I've actually, that is my window. I have interspersed all my languages. So before I'd got like an entire shelf that was just my language books, and now I have mixed them up and just put them all in order of all the surnames, because that's my favourite way of doing it. Although there's one part of my shelf where, because the books don't, I need really small books, there's a couple that are out of sync at the very, very top, just because they're the only books that fit there, and I'm trying to make sure that as many get on here as possible, because if they don't all fit in here, I'm going to have to put them back in the box. And I'm trying not to put stuff in the box, but it's going to be difficult, I think, to get everything done. I don't know where I'm going to put new books if I get new books, because this is pretty much the only bookshelf. I have pulled books from the shelf downstairs, so push comes to shove, I can go and chuck them down there. I think I'm going to put the non-fiction ones downstairs, so my plan is to try and read all the books on here, and then any I don't want to read again, I'm not getting put into like one whole pile. And so far I've got 5 or 6 books that I want to get rid of. Part of me really hopes that I don't get rid of any, but I also kind of hope that I do get rid of some so I can get new books. Still no reading done, and we're now on half past 8 almost. So I don't think I'm going to get much reading done today, but it's been more of a productive day. So welcome to my productive reading vlog of less reading and more organising. I think the shelf that I'm resting on, I'll be able to put more books in, because it's a huge shelf. I had spaced it so I put large things, so it's the only shelf that my comics fit on. I'm going to use that to try and fit as many books as possible. Hopefully I'll get this done soon, and I can do some reading. And then maybe I'll show you the finished shelves. Good morning everyone, it is Monday the 8th of February and I've decided to extend this reading vlog on until the 10th just to cover the end of Medievalathon. I realised that the weekend was not quite long enough to do a reading vlog. There's not a lot of stuff that you can actually film. So, full update, I managed to get to page 376, I think it was, of Way of Kings, and I am really enjoying it so far. It's a really heavy, dense read. I joined some reading sprints yesterday, which I've already inserted a little clip for, and it took me 20 minutes to read 16 pages, so definitely not an easy-going quick read. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to finish this book in time for the 10th of February because so I might only get 4 books done for the Medievalathon, but I'm going to carry on my TBR for February and try and get the other books that I picked for that read. But I put a request in for some MacLeod and I got accepted for 2 of them, and they are due to be read in the next 3 to 4 weeks, which isn't great. I also started the Atlantic Bloodline yesterday. I'm 7% in and I'm not really enjoying it. It's giving me like major late 2000s, early 2010 vibes. The main character is like, I'm not like those girls type. There's literally a quote, I can't remember the exact wording, but she says something like, I know I'm cute or pretty, but I'm not gorgeous. And I just think, oh no, why? What is wrong with you? And the love interest that they've introduced is a rock star who randomly turns up and is stalking her pretty much. And I'm just like, oh no, not these vibes all over again. And this is a recently published book. This was published last year. I think it's self-published. And there's a sequel due out. I think that's out actually. But yeah, I'm not really enjoying it, and I picked this book from Books Irons to review, so that will be 3 books from Books Irons that I've not really enjoyed. I enjoyed this novella, I just felt like the novella should have been slightly longer. It didn't seem to develop the characters as well as I imagined it should have. I didn't get the chance to. There was too much story to develop them properly, I think, that one. But I love the idea of it. Whereas this one, so far, I'm actually close to DNFing a book, which I probably won't do because I don't like to do that, and I'll give it more time, because 7%'s not a lot, but at the same time, it's definitely giving me like early Twilight vibes, which is not how you want a book to be described. I want to try and get some more of Way of Kings done today, but today's Monday, it's also snow, so I'll show you some snow later because I'm off out to the falls a bit, but I need to do some reading, but also during the week I do a lot of writing stuff, so you might get to see some writing, including here, because I usually try and do at least 50 minutes a day of writing and at least an hour a day of editing my novella, just so that I'm practicing as I'm putting it up. I really want to get one of them published this year, and I don't know, because I think I've taken so much time from my novella in the last year to write this new book. I've kind of come back at it with fresh eyes. I am enjoying it again, and I think that will go a long way to helping get this where it needs to be. But yeah, today's going to be busy, and I may have to pick one up because of the snow. This public transport might get cancelled and she won't be able to get home. But we'll deal with that when it comes. But yeah, I say it's a quick update, but it's taken 4 minutes. Quick reading vlog update. I forgot to mention that I've actually been listening to my audiobook as well, so I'm currently I think I'm 16 hours into Elantris now, so I'm listening to that. I think it's on 1.5 or 1.65 speed, because I think 2 is slightly too fast to remember everything and to pick everything up, but 1.65 is like a good level for me. I listen to all my YouTube videos on 1.5 speed as well, so it's about there that I can keep up to date with everything but not have too much. But I am currently on page 430 of Way of Kings. I am like a third of the way through. I think it's about a third. Definitely looks it. I am really enjoying it. I've forgotten how much I love like epic high fantasy, and I'm really glad that I finally picked this up. The same with Elantris, to be honest. I have liked Brandon Sanderson's work for a while. I read Mistborn 6 years ago? 6 to 7 years ago. I lived in Spain. That's all I can remember about when I read it. So I was either in Salamanca or Madrid. So it's either 8 years ago or 6 to 7. But still a long time. I read The Secret History, like a Mistborn novella, at the end of 2019. I borrowed it from the library. And I really enjoyed that as well. I really like his... I don't know what it is. I think that there's a lot of different aspects that I really enjoy. I like the way that he creates the stories. The only issue I had with Mistborn, which I've not come across with this book yet, but obviously this is just one book and there's another 3, that in Mistborn he repeats a lot the way that the magic system works, and if you read all the books in order, it's a little bit much. So I read the first trilogy, so Mistborn Era 1, and I think I read Mistborn Era 2 pretty much just in a row. I'm sure they were all out by the time I picked them up. So I read 6 books that explained the magic system at the start of each book pretty much in a row, and by the 6th book I wanted to bash my head against the wall because it was just a little too much. I understand explaining it and having hints of it there, but if you're reading the 6th book in a series, you really should know what the magic system is. So I thought that was just like a little bit of overkill. So I'm really hoping that the next Mistborn book doesn't do that, because that's not great for me. I've not read any more of the Atlantis Bloodline. I know I should, but I'm just really worried it's going to be a really terrible book, and I'm not sure I'm ready for a really terrible book. I think my lowest rating so far this year is 3.5 stars, and the way I'm feeling about that currently is like 2 stars, which is not a good sign. And I've got to do a review for this, and it's a review copy that I've got, so I feel even worse doing it. I could put it down as a DNF for Book Sirens, but then at the same time they'll also know I've done it because it's on my Goodreads. So I can't. So I am a little bit worried about that. I'm hoping it picks up. I'm hoping it sort of redeems itself, but I can see this being like a 2 to a 2.5. Way of Kings currently I think it's about 4. And I'm only a third through. But there is a lot to it. It's a very dense book. Which is great in a way, because I spent £15 on this book, and the amount of time I'm spending reading it is definitely worth the money that I've spent. But because there is so much to it, and it is a tome and a half, it is like I get into it, I feel like I've read loads, and like an hour's passed and I've read 30 pages. So I think I'm just a little bit with that, but I'm enjoying it. I wanted to do an update at the end of the day. I don't really read much during the main part of the day. I normally read later on in the evening, so I probably won't do an update until tomorrow evening as well. I have no idea if I'm going to finish this. Don't think I'm going to finish this before the end of Medievalathon, but we'll try. My goal now is to just get to the end of this one, and then it'll be 4 books ready for Medievalathon. And then, if I get the chance to, I'll start my third one. If not, I'm going to be reading it for my February TBR anyway, so I need to get through to it. And I also need to start 2 NetGalley arcs at some point. It's going to be a long one, I think. February is going to be painful. Hello everyone, so it is the 11th of February, which means Medievalathon is now over, and I realised I've not given an update for the past 2 days because I am a terrible YouTuber and vlogger. And that's pretty much all I have to say on the matter. I think I got to about 500 pages in Rhythm of War. I've not even got that far. I got into about 500 pages of Way of Kings, and I think I got to about 9 hours left of Elantris. It might be more like 8.5, because I did listen to quite a bit of it yesterday. think I got to maybe about 8.5 hours left on Elantris, and I finished the Atlantis Bloodline. So actually, it wasn't too bad of a reading one, and yeah, I think I did not do very well in the Medievalathon. I did not get 7 books. I think I managed to read 4. I'm going to include a Dark and Hollow Star in it, just so I've got the one over 5. I think it's 400 pages. Oh, yeah. And so I can like get that rather than just 3. But Way of Kings is a long book. It's taken a while. The Atlantis Bloodline is the first book I finished at all in February because I've been focusing on reading Way of Kings. It's just so dense and so heavy. But I have enjoyed it. So, Way of Kings, I'm really enjoying. I think this is because I like historical fiction, but I like fantasy where it goes into like the societies and things like that, and I think that's why I like Brandon Sanderson's work so much, because he goes into the sort of lives of people and the way that the world works, and the politics and the history and the mythology and the lore, and I think it's why I love the Poppy War so much as well, because that sort of fantasy world building, I'm down for that sort of fantasy world building. I mean, I like other fantasies as well, where it's just like, here's the thing, like the Elemental Mysteries. I really like that, and that's not got that level of world building. I know it's set in like the real world, it's a paranormal romance, more like urban fantasy style, but I like pretty much all types of fantasy for different reasons, and Brandon Sanderson's I really, really love because of the way that he builds the world up, and the same with Elantris, to be honest. I saw someone had read it in December, I think it was Megan, I'll leave like a link to her channel, and she did a wrap up for all the December videos. I'm like a month behind on videos, I'm trying to watch new ones and old ones at the same time, and I finally watched her December wrap up, and she read Elantris, and she didn't like the fact that there wasn't as much magic in it, but I'm down for that. I'm enjoying the political intrigue in the world, the way that the world has been set up. I know there's meant to be a sequel at some point, but currently it's just a standalone. Megan said to not read this if it's your first Brandon Sanderson, because it depends on what sort of fantasy that you want. I would say if you enjoy fantasy with like the historical fiction element to it, so like the building and the grounding of the politics and the way that people work, it's a great book. If you want it because you want a magic heavy or like a supernatural heavy fantasy, it's not the book for you. Because there's like hints of it throughout, but it's definitely only getting explained now in this last sort of quarter. I think it was 28 and 2/3 hours. So it was like 28 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. And I'm now into like the last 7, so I'm about the last 25%, which I'm doing well with, to be fair. And yeah, it's only now that like I think that element is going to be explored a little more. The Atlantis Bloodline I was really disappointed with. I started reading it and it gave me massive late 2000s, early 2010 YA romance vibes. So I think Twilight was the sort of style, and that sort of like YA main character. She is she's not like other girls. She's cute and pretty, but she's not gorgeous. Were exact lines. Those were exact words that she uses to describe herself within the first 10% of this book. And I got to about... Everything seemed to have happened so fast, this book. So I got to like I think I got to about 20-25% in, and then like there was a big cataclysm, I'm guessing break into 2 point. And the next 15% of the book was the first 20-25%, but told from a different point of view, but not told properly, summed up. And it was very much like, I don't know, I really didn't enjoy it. But the book started off at being like a 1-star read, and I almost DNF'd it, and it got to the point where I finished the book and it's probably like a 2.75. Maybe not quite that good. I liked the underlying story, I didn't like the way it was told. I feel like, I don't know if I'm too old for these books. I'm 29 and these books are all like proper old school YA, and I don't know if I'm just getting too old for these books now to read them. But it was just a preppy sort of, I have to do loads of homework because I'm not that intelligent, and yes, you might only get a C in physics. She literally mentions it, but She's still in an advanced placement class for something. She's doing an advanced placement class. And then at the end of the book, they go to London and mentions that she's gone to community college and she's got an associate's degree and that she's studied for a business associate's degree. And then she's going downtown London. It's going to take a second because that really bugs me. If you're going to then move the setting of the story, I think it was like 7% of the story right at the end. At least learn the terminology. She didn't go to a community college in London because we don't do community colleges. Community college is a very American thing. We have what we call red brick unis and polytechnics, but they're still not the same level as like community college versus whatever the other version of college university there is in America. If I was going to set a book and have any of it that was in a different culture's educational system, you need to learn the terminology. We don't have business associate's degrees. She would have done, business associate major, something like that. We don't do majors and minors. We choose a degree. I went and studied French and Spanish. That was all I studied. I didn't have to do anything else. There was no like other little bits and bobs, and this is now a bit more of a rant than I expected, but that really bugged me. So I was getting back into the book and I was like, okay, maybe it's like built itself up to a 3-star read. It seems to have like sorted itself out that first 7%. There were still bits where, and the love interest was a stalker. That is literally how he's introduced, and there's insta love in it. I don't know, this book, maybe it's not 2.75. The more I think about it, the more it's like a 2-star read, but it was a review book and I feel awful giving a book that, but at the same time, now I'm thinking about it, I've not reviewed it yet, I've not like lobbed it off on anything, but I think actually it's just 2 stars. It's the worst book that I've read all 2021. Which to say I read 8 books, and not too bad to say that this is the first book that I've read that's really angered me, but I am just... I need to stop talking about it. Pretty much I didn't enjoy it. I need to write my thoughts on this properly because I want to give it a proper review. Because I need to put it up on Amazon and stuff like that for the review copy that I've got. And I don't want to do it. When I have a good review, I don't mind so much if I don't articulate myself well, but if I don't like something, I want to go into the details. But honestly, there's just so much. And I think that last little bit is just so frustrating that you can't even be bothered to learn about the country that you've decided to set your book in. I know it was like a tiny amount, but still. Don't have community college. I think my problem with it is that American culture has been so pervading and has taken over and dominated that a lot of people in America, not all of them, but a lot of people don't even realise that their way of doing things is not the way that everyone in the world does things. And I think that's more annoying because you've decided to be a writer and you've decided to include a different culture. Because British, English, UK culture, Scottish culture is even different to English culture. I wouldn't even want to write a book set in Scotland without researching it. But I think the fact that they didn't even look it up was really annoyed me. And it's probably bugged me more than I thought it would. I didn't realise it had annoyed me that much until I started talking about it. So this is the ending for my reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about the mini rant that I've just been on, but it kind of annoyed me. I didn't read as many books as I was hoping to, but I think I did a good job. I think I managed to read about 250 pages of Way of Kings in like 4 days, which, if you've not read The Way of Kings, that is a lot of pages. It's such a heavy book. I love it, and I think it's great, but at the same time it's not a book you can just pick up and like blast through, so there is some downsides to it. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to see more reading vlogs by me, let me know in the comments down below, because I don't really know if anyone enjoys these. I kind of like doing them, but at the same time I'm like, does anyone want to see a reading vlog? So let me know if you do. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. There's a new one out every single week. In February, for some reason, I've managed to do 2 videos a week, so bonus videos from Lauren in February. I hope you're all well and you're all staying safe. And until next time, people, bye!